Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this short tutorial video. In this video, I'll be discussing to you how we're going to design draw assignment one, which is the guardhouse, the guard room. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to open our Revit. So we are here in Revit, software. So the first thing we need to do, we need to check in models. So in this side here, we have models where we're going to open an existing model or new drawing. So what we'll be doing, we'll use a new drawing, and from there we're going to select our template. So if we are using 2026, you can see in 2026 you'll have only two templates there, which is imperial and metric. So I want you to be using metric, okay? But those who are using the earlier versions, which is 2024, 2025, what you can use is that if you don't have imperial or metric in this template, you can choose either architectural template. Okay, so that's for those who are using 2024, 2025, can use architectural template, but for those who are using 2026 or above to 2027, you can use metric. Okay, because we are in Fiji, we're using the metric for measurements, and also for me, I'll be using my own template, which is this one here. Okay, so once you select either metric or architectural, then you press on OK and make sure it's create new on project. Right, so we'll just let it load a little bit. So this is our first assignment. Okay, we'll be drafting this guard room. So before drafting the guard room, what I usually do in Revit before I start drawing, I usually set up my levels. Okay, set up my levels. So these are the levels I need to set up first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Let's let this load a bit. Okay, so this is my template. I'll just delete some of the things inside. This all of those ones. Okay. So once you're done, this is my floor plan. So in my floor plan, under your project browser, you'll have your floor plans, level 1, level 2, and site. Okay. So the first thing first, need to jump to your elevation. So that's my elevation. So in my elevation, what I need to do in my elevation, I need to transfer all these readings into here. Okay. So the first one is ground level. So just put that number 1, then write down ground level. What's the height for that one? Yes. Click on to yes, so that once you click yes, it will be written in here. So what's the height for that one? It's 0, so that's 0. Next one is ground floor level. 02 ground floor level. Yes. Double click inside there, you put the 150. All right. So you change the scale. 1:10, 1:25, 1:25. Okay, so you can see now that these two levels are, this one is on top of this one because what we need to do is that we're going to break the line. So click on this one, then you can zoom closer, you can see there's a break line there at elbow, right? So once you click on that, you can see you've created an elbow or a break line, right? So what you can do, you can move your grips to make sure that it doesn't run in front of the text, which is ground level, just to make it a little bit neat, something like that. Okay. So since you have two levels now, 1 and 2, how many more levels left? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 levels. So you copy this, CC for copy, click on that level and you paste 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you're done with it, this is desk level number 303. Desk level. Right. What's the height for the desk level? 900. Double click into that, and then you put that 900. This one here, level 4 is underside of window, and it's 1 meter. Level 4, US of window. The height is 1000. What you need to do here, you need to create an elbow, and then make sure that the grips doesn't interrupt the level height. Eh? That's nice. So next one is the door and window height. So this is number 5. Door window height. Right. What's the height for that one? 2350. That's 2350. Right. And the last one is number 6, top of beam. 6. Top of beam. What's the height for that one? 2550. 2550. Then you add elbow or break line. Drag this down. Drag the grip to the other side. That's your levels now. You're done with the levels. Now what you need to do, you go to your south elevation. You can see this one is still on 1:100. You can move to 1:25 and then you break the line. Make sure you do this to all of your elevations and all of your levels, because we're going to paste these onto our sheets and make sure that your levels are done properly. Go to south. See, still on 1:100. Move this one to 1:25. Get elbow for your grips. Get elbow for your grips. Go back to west. Same thing. And you get elbow. Break line. Then you can just make it look neat. Drag this one out. Drag the other one out. Also for this one here. Now, let's drag this one a little bit down. Right. Now we're done now. So what we're going to do now, go back to your ground level. So in the ground level, we need to start drawing on the ground floor level, okay? So the ground floor level, what's the length and width of the house or the guard room? So the length is 2000 by 1.5, 150, 150, 2.3 by 2.1. So I need to add my floor. Add the floor first. So see what you have to do here. Let me start over again, eh? So you need to go to architecture. On architecture, there's floor there. Click on floor. Then you're going to draw it using the rectangular tool. And then you just create a rectangle. And then from there, how you're going to change it, you're going to select one of the sides and it's written as 7 meter. And this one is not 7 meter, it's 2.3. Right? and then you select the other one at the bottom. Then you're going to put the 2.1. So that's the size of our floor. So you have to make sure that the floor is sitting right at the midpoint of these four views. So you're just going to estimate it, something like that. Okay, that's nice. Once you've done that, you tick. And then once you tick it, you can see that you have created your floor. Let's check on our 3D. That's your floor, okay? Don't mind all these three lines. You won't have this. It's only in my template. If you want it, you can buy it. Okay, so since I have my floor there, you can go back to your ground floor level. So what I will do in my ground floor level now is that I'm going to create my wall. So in my wall, you can see that on the elevation, you can see that the floor starts at ground floor level, which is this one, and it ends on the top of beam here. So this is how you're going to create your wall. So go on to wall. Okay. So for wall, if you don't have any 150 block wall, because look at this, the size of this wall here is 150, the thickness. And look at my wall. My wall, it's written there 400 mm. And some of you people, your wall will be using these ones. Okay. So what you need to do here is this. You go to edit. So under the edit table, you're going to duplicate. Why you need to duplicate? Because you need to create another copy from it. You don't need to change the original. You're creating another copy, and then you're going to rename your new wall. So you're going to rename it as 150 concrete wall. Once you've done that, you press OK. Then you can see the type. It's changed to 150 concrete wall. So from there, you need to go to edit, and then edit, you can see that this is our exterior side on top, and this is our interior side. Okay, so you can look at number 6. It's the floor boundary. That's the structure. So that's the structure of that. It's the concrete masonry unit. And that's the one we need to use. We won't have any interior finishing or any exterior finishing. Okay, so what we need to do, you go to number 1, delete that one, delete that one, delete that one. Go to number 4, you delete. And then from here, the thickness, you can put 150. And you press on to OK. And now we have 150 block wall. Okay. So the next thing you need to do, still on the wall command, you're going to modify or place your wall. So we're going to create it on height. Okay. It's going to be on height. It's not going to be on depth, because the depth, that's when you're trying to draw a wall where you have the footing. So this one is a structural wall. Going for a wall where we support and we insert the windows, and then from that height, you have to make sure that beside it, it's not written that one is unconnected. So our base of our wall right now is on ground floor level. Okay. And our height, we need our height to be connected to number 6, which is top of beam. Okay. So you leave it on top of beam. And then from here, location line is the location line. Core center line means this. You can see that my wall is snapping in that core center line of the wall. I need my location line to be at the finish face exterior. So I'm selecting my finish face exterior, and then you can see it's snapping the exterior point. So once you've done that, you can select the rectangle tool for wall, and then you create your wall. That's my wall. Go back to your 3D. That is your wall. Okay. Right. So once we're done with that, I'm going to continue now. So I'm going to insert my door. So the first door is 1000. That's the first door. 1000 rough opening. So what we can do, can go to door, use this one here. Just put your door in, and what you're going to do now is select the door. You can edit. So if you go to east elevation, you can see that our door will be starting from here, ground floor level, and it will end at door and window height. So the height of the door will be 2.2. Okay. So you're going to click on the door, edit, and you need to duplicate, create a new one. So it will be 1 meter by 1000, 2200. Press OK, and then to rename it here. So we need this door. We're going to use this door here, which is this one. Edit, duplicate, and now 1000 by 2400. 1000, 2400. Let's see if it's changing. It's not. So what I'll do, I'll insert another door. So what you can do, you go to insert, load Autodesk family, and then from that load, you're going to search for a door. Let it load a little bit. Let me try and use this door here for the time being. Use this one, we edit, duplicate, meter by 2000. That's okay. And then we check the dimensions. Okay, that's correct now. So we can select this door, then you see that our door, it's offsetting from the exterior wall by 200. So we can select on the door, you can move this grip of dimension, you just put it on the other side where this wall is, the exterior, then you can write that 200. It's going to automatically move that. So once we're done with that, we're going to draw a window, which is the 900 rough opening. That's a double bay. Into, and on the east elevation, I just want to check what's the height of our window. The height of window 1350. So it will be 1350. So go to window, double window, edit, duplicate 900 times 1350. So width will be 900. This is thick line weight, thin lines. So once you turn it on, it will off the line weight, and you can join these two. Okay, then you turn it back on, and then you're going to check your dimensions. check your dimensions, less than 100. So we are on the right path. Go to your north elevation, then you can see the location of your window. You align AL to align, then you select that line for the door window height, and you align it with your window. That's done. So we're going to create the second window, which is on this side. So the second window, we're going to check the dimensions of the second window, which is 1900. 1900, and that's the 3-bay window. Edit, you duplicate 1900 by 1350. Okay, then you height 350, tab, and the width is, what's the width? 1900. Looks okay. That is your window. You move your snap to the outside exterior wall. It's written that 200. That's correct. This one is 200. So we look at our elevation. We align that window according to the window height. EM for alignment, right? So the second window done. Now we're moving on to the third window. So the third window is 1700. Edit, duplicate 1700 by 1350. So the width is 1100, the height is 1350. It's okay. Put it there. Then select that. Go with that side. Then you can write that one. Set. You go to your west elevation. And you make sure that you align it with the door and window height. Go back to your south. Everything is okay now. So you go to your 3D. Have a look now. Right. But once you've done with that, we're going to draw our roof because we have done everything. That's up to one window, walls all created. So if you're going to draw our roof, we need to check the highest level. Where's the highest level? The highest level is top of beam, and we don't have it in our floor plan, in our project browser. So what we need to do, we need to go to view, under plan views, select plan views, then you go to floor plan, and these are all the levels. You can select all, control, then just click all, and you can see all your levels are shown here. So our roof will be drawn on to the top of beam level. So right now, if we're going to draw a roof, we cannot see where is our floor. So what you need to do, under your properties, you go under constraints, graphics, underlay. So in underlay, the range base level, this is where you're going to check which range base level you're going to check. So right now it's written on none. That's why you can't see anything. So if you click on none, you select on ground floor level, you go back inside to your drawing, then you can see that's the underlay of the drawing. So right now I'm going to go back to architecture. Under architecture, you're going to do your roof. So under roof, you're going to select the generic 1 to 5 roof. Select any type of roof you have there. And then you're going to use the rectangle tool, and the offset of the roof is, or the overhang is 500. So once you select that rectangle, under the offset, you're going to write 500 there. So you select all the exterior points, 1, 2, and you have created your roof now. Okay, so what we need to do now, we're going to create a roof, which is this one, this type, where it's going to lean onto the north side by 5 degrees gradient fall. So what you need to do, this one here should have an angle. All of this shouldn't be having any angles. So once you go, what you need to do, you select these 3 lines, then you untick define slopes. Once you untick define slopes, you select this one here, then you click onto that value where you need to change that, then you put 5 degrees. Enter, and then you tick to continue. Once you've done that, you go to your 3D, and that's your roof. You've created your roof there. Okay. Go back to your east elevation, and you'll make sure that your roof is sitting on top of beam. Okay. And then what you need to do now, how can you close off that space? This space here. So what you need to do, you put your cursor on top on one wall, you press tab to select the whole chain of walls, click, attach, then you attach top to the roof. Okay, so once you've done with that, you go back to architecture, under roof, that's your roof, go down to the drop down arrow, you create your facer board. One facer board there. Create that one facer board, you enter, escape, and you go back to architecture, create another facer board. This is why you need to escape after doing the first one. Do the other one, escape. So once you've done with that, you go back to roof, facer board, select that, and then you select this file. Once you've done with that, escape, going back to roof. In the roof, you go to gutter, then you make sure in gutter you select the top of the facer board, not the bottom. Select the top. Once you finish with the top, what you're going to do now, you're going to select the facer board, the one you created first time, then you press on escape, and you drag it out so that it covers that facer board. Right? Select on that one, drag it out, probably through here. Right off. And now you have got your model of the guardhouse. Okay. So probably what we need to do now, we need to insert it here into a floor plan. I need to delete all this. This is my title block. So what I need to do, I need to go back to ground floor plan, ground floor level. So in my ground floor level, this is where I'm going to insert all the details or all the annotations. Okay, so I need to add my grids first. So this is my grid. Select on grid. So grid is under architecture. Right at the far end, you have detail. You have grid there. So what I need to do, I need to pick line. So in the pick line, I'm going to pick the center of this wall. So that's the center. Escape. You drag this up. Drag that one that down. You tick the square so that you open the title. You click onto that one. You put here number 1. So it's 1 and 2. Okay. So that's number 1. We're going to change this to 1:25. So that's 1:25. Then you copy this from the center of this wall to the other center. Right. So you go back to architecture, go to grid, You pick line and you pick that midpoint of that wall. You take out your grids. You take this one, take it out. And then you're going to rename it, select on the bubble, name, put it there as A. So that's A, copy A, and then you paste it here where you have B on the center of this wall. So once I'm done with that, you can just move your cursor a little bit down. This one here, move it closer to the wall. So the measurements now, we're going to start with our measurement. So measurements is DI, or you can select it under the quick access toolbar. That's the dimensions, align dimensions. So I'm going to measure the grids first. Once I've done my grids, then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to measure the intersecting of walls. So this is what you can do. You can select entire walls. You can choose all faces, options, intersecting walls, okay. Then you select that wall. Let me drag it up. Okay, same goes for this one. And same goes for this one. Same goes for this one. Once you're done with that, then you go to options, you untick this one, then you select openings, not centers, but widths. Okay. Then you select that wall again. We don't have any opening there. There's one opening there. Okay. There's another opening here. So that is your floor plan. After you're doing that, you can tag your room tag. So this one here, you're going to room tag this. If you cannot room tag, you use a room separator, rectangle, then you close off this room. Something like this. Okay. But for me, I can room tag. So I just tag this room, put it here, rename it as number 1. One third room. So that is my floor plan. So we go back to propose floor plan, double click on this one, delete this one. Then how you're going to insert your ground floor plan into your sheet. So this is what you're going to do. I was doing my annotations and all my editing in ground floor level, which is number 2. So I need to move back to my sheet. So in this sheet, I'm going to drag this one here inside. Click, and that is where your floor plan comes in. You double click in order for me to close all of this whole border. That is where the crop view comes in. You double click inside under properties, under extends, you click onto these two, crop view and crop region, and that is something like viewport. You click on that viewport or the viewpoints, then you drag it in. Okay, that is my floor plan. You can center it or put it properly back inside. Once you're done with that, look at your title. Your title is written under there. How do you move it? Just select on the title, then you move it. How do you move in that endpoint? You select that viewport, then you drag in that grip. That is your ground floor plan. So now we're going to insert our elevation. So for our north elevation, we need to scale this one here down. 1:25, done. Then we're going to move this in. There. Move this further in. You can move your grid bubbles down. From view, go to your ground floor. This one here. Then you're going to move in your north. That's your north. Once you put your north in, you take the crop view and crop region. Press them all in. You can move your levels right inside just to save space so that you can fit another drawing on the other side. So like this one here, use your arrow, you can move a little bit, that's right. Once you're done, you can move that out of the drawing. Select the viewport, close it in. That's your north. North, then you drag your east. That is your east elevation. Double click, then you move your grips inside to save space. It is really important to save space that you do not have to print a lot of pages when you start printing your drawings. Okay, because you have to know that printing does cost a lot. So if you're doing your own drawings in your own firm, please consider in mind how to save space for your drawings. So once I've removed all the grips for the levels and also the grid bubbles, I'm going to move that viewport or the view. Set, then you move your title, you select your viewport, and then you close that grip in, somewhere there, just to make it look neat. Right. So once you're done with the east, so you've done our northeast, then we're left with our south. Put in the south elevation, drag it in. Once you drag it in, you create your viewport, double click, move it, move this other one, move the other one inside, drag the bottom to the top, double click, close it, put the east elevation, south elevation in, then you can just move your title there, select your viewport, then move the other one inside. It's your south elevation. Once your south elevation is in, then we got our last one, which is the west. Put in your west. Put it here at the bottom. What you're going to do now, double click inside, tick those two, and you drop down all that points. Move this out a little bit. It's sticking for the house. We don't need that. You can move this a little bit inside. Save space. Yeah. This one you can just move it out a little bit. Right. Now we can move this one in. Move this fella in. And what we can do here, we can add a shadows. There is a shadow. I don't need shadow. We can do that later. Right. So once I'm done with that, double click outside. Move your drawing in. You can see that blue dotted line showing there, that dash line. That shows that my elevations are on the same level. So that's nice. So what I need to do now, I need to move the title. You can see if I move the title, it's snapping with the original south level. Okay, so I'll select on that, move my grip inside. Right, so once I'm done with that, double click inside, you can move this up a little bit so that it's also the same as that one. Same to for this one. Just make your drawing neat. Okay, so once you're done with that, you can just correct a few things there and there. Double click on this one, get the far endpoint is going right to the floor plate. You don't want that. Okay, so what we'll do now, we'll create our 3D view. So in the 3D view, you can go to any floor plan. So you went to ground level. So under this 3D icon where you have that small house, you click on that drop down arrow, you go to camera, then you just take picture like that. Then you change the graphic view into realistic. So that's realistic. Once you've done that, you move back to your sheets. Then that's your 3D view. It's 3D view 1. Cross it off. And then you drag your 3D view 1 onto your drawing. So that's your drawing. Double click inside. It's written the perspective. So you can change the perspective onto orthographic. So that's orthographic. So once you're onto orthographic, you can scale your 3D up 1:50 or 1:25. See, 1:25 fits it. Okay. It fits well, eh? Fit perfectly. So I'm just going to put my 3D on my title there. Okay, so once you're done with that, what you need to do, project name, what's the project name again? Just write in your project name, write in your details, and all of this. It's your title, so got the floor plan there and elevations. Okay. Um, ABD 644, perhaps. Okay, once everything is done, then you can print your drawings. So how do you print your drawing? You can go to this one here, PDF. So you're going to print the current window which is on right now. Okay. So if you want to print selected views, so how many views you want to select, you can go to this one here, then you select all your views. But since we're printing one, that's one. You can rename this as summon one. Summon one, then it's going to be printed to your, let me print this to my desktop. Print it to my desktop. Okay. So it's my desktop. The sheet I'm be using is A1. Zoom 100%, and always paper placement, offset from corner. This is the settings you'll be using every now and then. You'll be using landscape, and then press export. You save these settings because you'll be printing in that. So right now you can leave the temporary hide because I've been hiding some stuff, so you can just leave it to be hidden. Then you start printing, and that's the process of your printing done there. So now it's ready. So if I go back to my files, if I go to desktop, the desktop, you have assignment one there. So once you open that assignment one, that is my drawing. Okay. So I hope you understand everything that I explained in this video. Okay. Follow it for properly from the starting, then you will be able to finish your assignment one. So thank you very much everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial.